Have you ever felt like the only thing standing between you and your dream business is money? If you've ever opened your bank app, looked at your balance and thought, I want to start something, but I just can't afford it, you're not alone. In fact, you're in the majority. But today, we're going to shatter that mindset, because the truth is, the amount of money you need to start a business in 2025 is probably less than you think. But here's the twist. It's not just about how much money you need. It's about how you spend it, where you invest it, and more importantly, who you become in the process. Stay with me until the very end, because in the last few minutes, I'll reveal a concept that could change how you think about business and money forever. Let's dive in. We've all heard those flashy stories. She started a 7-figure brand with just $500. He built $1 million business from his garage with no capital. Sounds great, right? But for every success story, there are dozens of silent failures. People who threw in thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, only to watch their dream burn out before it even took off. So what's real? What's hype? And how much money do you really need to start a business in 2025? Let's begin with a story. There's a guy named Marcus, lives in a quiet suburb in Ohio. One day, he loses his job. Rent's due. Savings? Less than $300. Instead of panicking, he scrolls through Facebook Marketplace, finds a beat-up pressure washer for $150. He buys it. Then, with the last bit of cash he has, he prints out flyers, basic black and white ones that say, driveway cleaning, cheap fast. That's it. No website, no business cards, no LLC. Within a week, Marcus lands his first job, then another, then 2 more. Fast forward 9 months. He's now doing over $15,000 a month, has 2 part-time employees, and books through referrals. Only. Total startup cost? Less than $273. Now compare that to James. He opens a sneaker boutique in a trendy part of LA, spends $70,000 on lease, decor, inventory, and marketing. The place looks amazing, but the foot traffic? Not enough. After 6 months of slow sales and high expenses, he shuts down. Both had dreams. One spent big, one started small, only one survived. So what does this tell us? That the amount of money you start with means very little if your strategy is broken. Let's now explore the 5 most common types of businesses in 2025, and what it actually costs to start each one. First, online service businesses. These are things like virtual assistants, freelance writing, graphic design, marketing, and coaching. Guess what? You can start these with almost $0. All you need is a skill, a laptop, and a Wi-Fi connection. Realistically, you might spend $50 to $200 on a domain name, a simple website, or maybe a logo. But even those are optional at the beginning. So what's the real investment here? Time, energy, consistency, not cash. Second, product-based businesses. Think dropshipping, print on demand, or Amazon FBA. Startup costs can range from $300 to $3,000, depending on whether you hold inventory or not. Shopify store, domain, product samples, ad testing, all these add up. You can do it lean, but keep in mind, these models often require money for testing, optimizing, and marketing. It's not hard to burn through $1,000 quickly just to find a product that converts. Third, local service businesses. Lawn care, mobile car detailing, house cleaning, handyman services. These can start with as little as $500 to $5,000. You'll need basic tools, maybe a branded shirt, business insurance, and local marketing like flyers, business cards, or even boosted Facebook posts. The advantage? You can get customers fast, and you're dealing with real people who need real services, not fighting algorithms or global competitors. Fourth, brick and mortar businesses. These are your cafes, barbershops, clothing stores, gyms. Startup costs? Easily $25,000 to $250,000. You'll need to pay for lease agreements, renovations, licenses, utilities, point-of-sale systems, staff, signage, and insurance before you even make your first sale. These types of businesses are high risk, high commitment, but they can also be incredibly rewarding if you do your research and find the right location and niche. Finally, digital product businesses, selling courses, ebooks, templates, memberships. Startup cost? Technically $0 if you already have the knowledge, but you may spend anywhere from $200 to $2,000 on things like recording equipment, email marketing tools, or learning platforms like Teachable or Kajabi. The beauty here? Once created, digital products can be sold repeatedly with $0 inventory costs. Now at this point, you might be thinking, okay, so I can start small, but how do I know if I'm spending my money in the right place? That's where most people mess up, because the biggest expenses in business are not equipment or software, or even ads. They're hidden costs. The cost of procrastination, the cost of bad decisions, the cost of not validating your idea before you go all in. Let's say you spend $5,000 on a course or coaching. That might feel expensive, but if that investment saves you from wasting $20,000 doing things the wrong way, that's not a cost. That's a discount. So here's the golden rule. Start with the least amount of money you need to test your idea. Then scale only when the idea proves itself. Don't start with a business plan. Start with a customer. Find one person, just one, who is willing to pay you for your solution. That's the proof of concept. After that, everything else is just building on that foundation. Now, let's talk about a simple framework to help you figure out how much you need. Personally, I call it the 3-tier launch rule. Tier 1, budget launch. Charge under $1,000. Perfect for freelancers, creators, service providers. It's lean, scrappy, and focused. Tier 2, starter launch. Between $1,000 and $10,000. This gives you room for basic tools, inventory, and small ad tests. Ideal for online stores or service businesses that need equipment. Tier 3, builder launch. Over $10,000. You're committing to a full storefront, a team, or building tech. Not for beginners, but viable if you've done your homework. Remember, there's no prize for spending the most money. There's only reward for building the smartest business. Now I want to bring you back to the question we started with. How much money do you need to start a business in 2025? And here's my final answer. As little as possible and as much as it takes to make sure you don't quit, because the number in your bank account doesn't matter nearly as much as the number of times you show up, improve, and keep going, especially when things get hard. So whether you have $50 or $50,000, what you really need is a plan, a skill, and the willingness to grow. And if this message sparked something in you, maybe a business idea, a little fire in your chest, or just a sense of, yes, I can do this, then you're already ahead of the 90% of people who will never start. And if you're looking for more step-by-step guidance, real business ideas, and no fluff strategies built for real people like you, you're in the right place. This is Profitables, where we break down the business game without the gimmicks. Stick around, because in the next video, we'll explore 7 businesses you can start with under $500, and one you should absolutely avoid at all costs. You won't want to miss that. Let's build something together.